Yahshua comes in the volume of the book. So today we're gonna be going through dealing with a little bit of Hebrew. I know everybody out there don't deal with Hebrew, but I found that for me it helped me get understanding in certain things, and it is the Most High's language, and He reveals a lot through His language. So what we're gonna be dealing with today, we're gonna start off from Genesis chapter 1 and verse 1. And we're going to look at this Hebrew as it was written in the original Hebrew and see if we might be able to gain some gems. So we're going to start this thing out today in Genesis 1. And again, it's just to give, see if we can gain some gems from looking at the Hebrew from Genesis. And also this is going to be good for those who don't believe in Yahshua, who don't believe that He was the true Messiah. Because in the Father's language, you know, I'm able to see some things, you know. So again, we're going to start off in Genesis chapter 1, and I'm going to have Brother Kevin to pick it up at verse 1.
Better sheet.
And better sheet, yeah. And in the Hebrew, Genesis is better sheet. Thank you for that, brother.
Yes, sir.
Genesis, again, in Hebrew is better sheet. So we're going to pick it up in better sheet, chapter 1, verse 1. Go ahead.
In the beginning, God created the heaven and the earth. And the earth was without form and void.
Okay, read that verse 1. That's all we need. Read it again.
In the beginning.
In the beginning, right? So it's saying in the beginning what?
God created the heaven and the earth.
Right. So in the Hebrew, it says better sheet. And better sheet in Hebrew means in the beginning. So we're going to deal with some of this Hebrew and just see what we can look at. And we're going to touch on a few verses along the way. So we're going to start off with first learning the Father's name, or how to say Father in Hebrew. You able to see this on there, Brother Freeman?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
All right. In the black.
Black or red?
I'm using red on this, and then this is black. Can you pull it up on your phone, Tish, and see if you can see it? You can't? It's too small? You don't see the black? Okay. All right, let me put it in the black.
It's black to the blood.
It's the light. Is that better?
You got it. You're going to zoom it in.
Okay. All right, is that better? All right. So dealing with Father in Hebrew, this letter right here is called an Aleph, right? And then you have Tav, which would be the last letter in the Hebrew, which is the ending. He said, I am the Alpha and Omega, right? But then it goes from Aleph to Tav being the end. So this letter right here is the Aleph. This is the Bet, right? Put them together, it says Ab. So Aleph makes the A sound, Bet makes the B sound. It means father, right? This is the modern Hebrew. Like if you go get a Hebrew Bible today, this is the ancient Hebrew. This is the Hebrew, the first Hebrew that we used when we was writing. So they use like pictographs, like pictures. This is supposed to be an ox head. This is an ox head right here. And this is, I'm speaking to y'all here. I want to make sure y'all understand it too. This symbol represents a floor plan. Like if you know how they, on schematics, like floor plan or a tent, right? So this is what makes the Father's name. So it's ox head and it's the floor or the tent. Now the Aleph, this letter, both of these are the same letters, but it's just a different time frames, right, or how they wrote it. The Aleph right here, it means power, strength, the leader, right? Because this is what's so good about Hebrew, because you will have a word, but when you look at the pictures tell stories. So you got that. Basically, this the aleph and the bet, the A and the B. That's where you get alphabet. It's alphabet in English, it's aleph, bet in Hebrew, right? So this would be the letter for the A, right? The A and the B, right? And you read from right to left in Hebrew, not left to right. So it'll go this way. A and the B makes Ab, which means father, right? So when we Kevin's dad, Murphy here, will be his Ab, his father, right? And just stick with me. I know this is different, but we're going to put it all together and we're going to see what we can learn just in Genesis chapter 1, verse 1 in the word Bereshit.
Come on.
Bereshit. Can somebody tell me what Bereshit means? Yep, that's the word that they use in Hebrew for Genesis. And what does it mean? In the beginning, right? So Bereshit. So again, the word for father is what? Ab, right? Is what father is, right? We got the aleph, the bet, which is the ox head in the tent or floor plan, which means the aleph means strength, power, leader, and the B, which would be the bet, means floor plan, the tent, right? So if the aleph would be the representation of the word strength, the leader, and this will also mean house as well, or house, right? So if the aleph is strength or leader, and then the bet means house or tent, and the what? The head of the house, the strength of the house. Thank you. The head of the house, the strength of the house, the power of the house, right? So that's what Ab means in Hebrew. Ab is father in Hebrew, and he's the head of the house, our strength, our leader, right? Mm-hmm. So now we're going to go to what it says bar right here, right? Bar means grain. Or corn. Or it could also mean sun, like a sun. So it means grain, corn, or sun, right? So the letters to make that is going to be the bet, the B. The bet the B in Hebrew is bet. That's what this is. And these are all the same letters. And the second word will be R, which is the resh. So it'll be the bet and the resh, which makes bar, right? And that means grain, corn, or sun. Stick with me. So this is what again? What letter would this be? B, the bet, right? So it's a tent or a house or a floor plan, right? And this is the resh, the R, right? And this is a head, right? So that head, of course, we know what that means. It's going to be a person or a leader as well, right? So we put them together, and it means grain, corn, or sun, right? Now, the beginning of the word Bereshit, which means in the beginning, or right in Genesis, right? So instead of saying in the beginning, in English, in the Hebrew, it said Bereshit, right? Which is telling you in the beginning. So in the beginning, it's already speaking about the sun, or grain, or corn, all in one, because it's bar and then reshit. So in the beginning, it's already speaking about sun, right? Because people will say, no, we're all the sun, but this is talking about a specific sun, right? So, right. So we're seeing it, what is leading to. So this is Bereshit in the Hebrew, in modern Hebrew, and this is in Bereshit in ancient Hebrew, right? So we see just in this first two letters right here is bar, what we got right here, the sun, right? So now we got the floor plan, right? So so in the one word, we already mentioning all these three things because it means all of these. Bar, it means grain, corn, and sun, right? So now what we're going to do is we're going to take it to Psalms chapter 2 and verse 12. Psalms chapter 2 and verse 12. And this is unorthodox, but I think this is going to be, if you actually pay attention, and nobody will be able to tell you the son, our brother Yahshua Hamashiach ain't real. Because he's written of in the very first word of the Bible, which is Bereshit. Psalms chapter 2 and verse 12. And when you get there, read that.
Kiss the son.
It say kiss the who?
Son.
That word son that's being used right here when you bring up the concordance is this word here. Kiss the bar, right? So it means grain of corn, and a lot of people who don't want to believe in Hamashiach that do speak Hebrew would say, man, that means grain of corn. But it's being used to say what again?
Kiss the son.
Kiss the son, kiss the bar, right? So it's speaking about son there. And what else it say?
Lest he be angry.
So you better recognize this man. Keep going.
And ye perish from the way.
Because he came to show us the true way, right? Keep going.
When his wrath is kindled but a little.
Wrath, right? Remember that word wrath is kindled but a little. And what?
Blessed are they that put their trust in him.
Right. Now let's go to another place to show you that this word bar also means son in Barashit, right here, which means in the beginning, the very first word of the Bible, right? Let's go to Proverbs 31 and 2. And when you get there, go ahead and read.
What, my son?
He said, what, my son? Keep reading.
And what? The son of my womb.
The son. So we talking about the son, a child, right? And then here, it's the same word being used, which is bar in Hebrew, right? So we understanding that bar means grain, corn, and sun, right? It could be used in correlation to sun, right? So right here, what is this? What does this look like to y'all? And then, my drawing ain't whack. This exactly how they drew back in the day. Yeah. So this is a head, right? And what did we say this is? Right. So put it together. The head of the house, right? And that's what do it say? How did that scripture go? The head of.
You talking about the head of the woman is man.
Yeah, the head of
And the head of man is Christ.
The head of a man is Christ, right?
Yeah.
He was the head of the house, right? So in this Hebrew, when we start looking at the ancient Hebrew and the modern, you'll start seeing that he's saying a lot just through his words, through his letters, right? So he the head of the house, right? So the head of the house, right? Now what we're going to do is we're going to focus on, actually, let's go to Matthew 28 and 18. Because he made it real simple and plain in the beginning. But then as the Hamashiach come and you got the scriptures of the old and then you got the testimony of the new, it just verifies what he already said right in Genesis 1 and 1 in the Hebrew. That's the only reason I'm bringing this out. So nobody can deny Hamashiach being our authority and him coming to play the role and his importance and the severity of us recognizing it to have a true atonement, right? Matthew 28 and 18. And when you get there, brother, go ahead.
And Yahshua came and spake unto them,
Saying what?
saying, all power is given unto me in heaven and in earth.
All power is given to him because he's the head of the house, right? The father, you got the father and the son. The father's giving his duties to the son to come out and fulfill his duties. He just give orders and the son is going to do it. Just like a general in the army. He don't got to get out there in that dirt. He tell his soldiers what to do, right? I mean, let me stop saying right, y'all. Every time I say right, y'all go, all right? So I can stop that, break that habit, right? All right, so we got better sheep, which means what, y'all?
Come on.
Better by the sheep. What it mean, Kay?
In the beginning.
In the beginning, right? So we see in the word, which means in the beginning, the very first part of it is the son, right? It's talking about the son. So I'm going to tell y'all this. The word reshit, it comes from the root word rosh, right? Which means the head, the front, the beginning, the chief of a nation. And guess what else it means? First fruit.
Come on.
It means the first fruit, right? Because what a bar mean? It means sun, but also what? Grain and corn. So in the very first word of the Bible, bada sheet is talking about the first fruit. Now, first fruit, a lot of time we'll take it as is the first gathering, right? But it can also, in order to gather, what you have to do, you had to be done did what? Planted your seed, right? So we got the first person he's talking about is the son. He is the seed. Let's go to let me see where I had that at. John 12. Let's go to John 12. And we're going to read verse 24. John 12, and we're going to read verse 24. So it means, so now we got by the sheet in the beginning, we got the son, the first fruit, the first seed to be planted, right? Go ahead and read there, brother, when you get there.
24.
Yes, sir.
Verily, verily, I say unto you, except a corn of wheat fall into the ground.
Hold on, go up to 23 first and read that so we get understanding.
And Yahshua answered them, saying, the hour is come that the Son of Man should be glorified.
That he should be glorified. Keep going.
Verily, verily, I say unto you, except a corn of wheat fall into the ground and die, it abideth alone.
Right.
But if it die, it bringeth forth much fruit.
Right, because through his death, it's going to bring forth fruit. You put your seed in the ground, the seed sprouts up and it grows, right, into a tree, which does what? Creates a lot more fruit on each branch, right? Right? So now we're going to go to, let's see here. We're going to go to Isaiah 46 and 10. So better sheet again means in the beginning, right? Bar means son, grain of corn, and Ab is father, right? And this is because even within this word better sheet is other words that are hidden within this one word that we're going to pull out. And all of this is in the beginning. And it say that the volume of the book was written to who?
Christ.
Of Hamashiach, Christ, Yahshua. All right, Isaiah 46, and we're going to pick it up at verse 10. Isaiah 46, and we're going to pick it up at verse 10. And when you get there, brother, go ahead.
Declaring the end from the beginning.
He declared the what?
End from the beginning.
So we're going to know, even through better sheet, pretty much we're going to find out the story of what was going to happen, right? So read that again.
Declaring the end from the beginning. And from the ancient times the things that are not yet done. Saying, my counsel shall stand, and I will do all my pleasure.
Okay, so for declaring the end from the beginning, right? All these things is being written. So when you keep seeing precept after precept saying the same thing, but in a different way. So everything that was going to happen later on was written from the very beginning. And when you dig in this Hebrew, we're going to verify that as well, right? So now we're gonna go through better sheet real quick, just so we can look at this and get an understanding on that. Now I gotta stop every time I say y'all say and, so I can break that habit, right? Breaking one habit and forming another. Ain't that just like us?
As long as it's a good one.
All right, so better sheet, right? Which means what again? In the beginning. You better get it right next time. Say it. Say it with your chest. Better sheet in the beginning, right? So what does this represent again? The house, right? And what is this? Right. What is this? It could be the strength, a leader, power, a ruler of a nation, right? So we got the head of the house, right? We got the head of the house because the father will be the ultimate head, right? So we got the head of the house and the son. And then this right here represents teeth. This is how they used to draw teeth, or a symbol for teeth, which means destruction, right? And this is the shin, right? Which is a S. So this was a sign for teeth, right? The letter S it represent, but it was a sign for teeth, which means destruction. So devouring, destruction. What you do when you eat? You put that food in your mouth and you smash it up, right? Chew it to a pulp. It ain't nothing no more, right? So that's what they represent. Destruction. It also represents judgment, right? And then this arm means by power of, right? It means by power. So this was a represent. This is supposed to be an arm. That's how they drew it with the little hand on it. So this would be the power. And then this last letter is the T, and we call it the Tav. What do it look like? It look like a what? And the Tav is the last letter, right? And it's the cross, right? So obviously we know Yahshua came to end something, right? But we're going to put it all together. So we got the floor plan of the house, the head. We got the father of the strength, destruction. We got through the works, hands works, or power also. Through the hands works.
Arm.
Yeah, strong arm. And then we got the cross at the end, right? Which means mark, a sign, or a signature. Mark, sign, or signature is what that so-called cross, what we call it, right? That mean, right? The Tav, right? So it will be a sign or a signature. And then everybody know that once you follow Hamashiach, I mean, a lot of Christians, what they got on their neck, right? Which would be a sign, right? So when you see that, you kind of already, you would assume they know something about Christ, right? Not whether they live it or not, but they know something about him, right? So now we're going to put all this together. And when you do, it's the head of the house and the son through his leadership, right? Or power destroyed by hands was the mark, the sign, and the signature, right? So it's just basically telling you from better sheet that the Father was going to send the Son to be destroyed by man's hands to be the true sign and the mark, those who was the believers, right? So through Hebrew, when you put all this stuff together, and you can formulate the sentences in different ways, and it's all going to fulfill Scripture, no matter how you put it. So you might come up here, and you'll take the meanings of the words and put it in a different way, and it's going to all still fulfill Scripture. And it's all written from this very first word in the Hebrew, of the Hebrew Bible, which is better sheet, which mean what?
In the beginning.
In the beginning, right? So we see that. We read Isaiah 46 and 10. Now what we're going to do is we're going to, so now right here, even in the middle of better sheet, you got the Esh, right? Because that letter A in the Hebrew could make any vowel sound. So right here, let me see. This word is Esh. E-S-H. Now, this word right here means fire. And what do fire represent?
Judgment.
Judgment, destruction, right? So right here we got the word Ish, which would look like this in the modern, just for those who care. Let me see. So this word means fire. And what we're going to do is we're going to go to Deuteronomy 4 and read 9 through 13. Because now we're going to read some places where the word ish would be used. Deuteronomy 4. And we're going to read verses 9 through 13 real quick. And when you get there, go ahead and read there, brother.
Only take heed to thyself, and keep thy soul diligently, lest thou forget the things which thine eyes have seen, and lest they depart from thine heart all the days of thy life. But teach them thy sons and thy sons' sons, especially the day that thou stoodest before Yahshua, thy Elohim in Horeb, when Yahshua said unto me, gather me the people together, and I will make them hear my words, that they may learn to fear me all the days that they shall live upon the earth, and that they may teach their children. And ye came near and stood under the mountain, and the mountain burned with fire.
With ish. That word fire is ish right there, right? Keep reading.
Unto the midst of heaven, with darkness, clouds and thick darkness. Keep going.
Read that again, verse 11.
And ye came near and stood under the mountain.
He said, you stood near the mountain and what?
And the mountain burned with fire.
With fire, right?
Mm-hmm.
And we know that was his spirit, right?
Mm-hmm.
Keep going.
Unto the midst of heaven,
Mm-hmm.
with darkness,
Mm-hmm.
clouds,
Uh-huh.
and thick darkness.
All right, run it on through 13.
And Yahweh spake unto you out of the midst of the fire.
Out of the ash.
Mm-hmm. Ye heard the voice of the words, but saw no similitude. Only ye heard a voice. And he declared unto you his covenant, which he commanded you to perform, even 10 commandments. And he wrote them upon 2 tables of stone.
All right, so he's speaking about the commandments, but he's saying he was burning. He like burning out of the mist was the fire, right? Which is the word ish, right? And then when we look at that, what is this word again? The aleph is the A, and what do it mean? Huh? It means strength, power, leader. This is the S, the H, right? Which is, it's a representation of what? Teeth, which means what? Destruction and judgment, right? So the head or our power, our leader, brings destruction. And the word is ish. You see how the pictures mean stuff. So it's our leader, our power, bringing destruction, and it put them together. Ish means what? Fire, which is also written in the scriptures as a form of judgment or punishment. So the Hebrew is very special because it brings out a lot of it within it. And you're going to start seeing all these words are hidden within the word better sheep. So from the beginning, he's telling you about judgment. He's telling you about the son coming to be the mark or the sign or the signature. Let's go to Leviticus 1 and 2 real quick. A couple more scriptures where you can find it. The script, Leviticus 1 and 2. Leviticus 1 and 2. And go ahead when you get there.
Speaking to the children of Israel, and saying to them, if any man of you bring an offering unto Yahuwah, ye shall bring your offering of the cattle, even of the herd, and of the flock. If his
hold on. We went to the wrong spot. Go to what's the Job 23 and 10.
Job.
Yeah, Job 23 and 10. And when you get there, go ahead and read it.
But he knoweth the way that I take. When he had tried me, I shall come forth as gold.
Right. So now we're seeing when this word is being used, the fire could be used to that the Father's coming or his destruction, right? That word ish ain't in here, but it's showing you what this word ish does, right? Read that again.
When he had tried me, I shall come forth as gold.
Right, being tried, and he's speaking of the gold. So we try by fire, right? What is the fire supposed to do to the gold?
Refine it,
Purify it, take out all the imperfections, right? So this is what his fire does. His fire can either consume you, be a form of judgment, or it can better you to make you pure, right? Let's go to Isaiah 33 and 14. And go ahead and read that.
The sinners in Zion are afraid. Fearfulness had surprised the hypocrites. Who among us shall dwell with the devouring fire?
Right, because that's what he is, the devouring fire. The power brings the fire, right? Keep going.
Who among us shall dwell with everlasting burnings?
Right, okay. So looking at these scriptures, it's speaking about him. When you see that that devouring fires and everything, you go to the word, it's gonna say ish, and it's gonna break down and say the same thing. The Father bringing destruction, right? So he gonna break down the bad, make it good, right? Exodus 13. So he'll mold you with that fire for the better, purify you and make you better, right? Exodus 13. And we're going to read 21 through 22. Exodus 13, 21 through 22. And when you get there, go ahead.
And Yahuwah went before them by day in a pillar of a cloud to lead them the way, and by night in a pillar of fire to give them light, to go by day and night.
To go by day and night, read.
He took not away the pillar of cloud by day, nor the pillar of fire by night from before the people.
Right, so we seeing now the fire is being used to guide. So it's to destroy the impurities. It's to cause destruction, to kill off the chaos. And the fire is also used to lead, right? And then the Son came in the Father's name to do his will. So he going to do whatever the Father was sending him to do, which is their fire, right? So he going to lead you through the darkness. He going to show you the way. He going to always be there as long as you allow him to. He going to purify you of your impurities, and he going to be the one that's going to bring destruction and judgment in your life. So if you get out of line, he might tap you on your head and say, hey, get back in order, as a couple of warnings before full destruction come, right? Let's go to Hebrews 10 and 19. Hebrews 10 and 19. Actually, just to speed this up, we're gonna let's go to Exodus 20. Exodus 20. Oh, is it? Oh, is it Ezra? Let me make sure. My writing look like Al's right here.
Gotta be Exodus.
Let's go to Jeremiah 2 and 1 through 3. Jeremiah 2, 1 through 3. Jeremiah 2, we're going to read 1 through 3. Because remember I said bar means grain, corn, a sun, right? So better sheet. So even in the better sheet is speaking on the first fruits, right? So now we're going to get some scriptures just to show you where it's actually saying that. Where it will be in the Hebrew if you look in your concordance.
Bring it out, bro.
Again, that is Jeremiah 2 and 1 through 3. And when you get there, go ahead, brother.
Moreover, the word of Yahuwah came to me, saying, Go and cry in the ears of Jerusalem, saying, Thus said Yahuwah, I remember thee, the kindness of thy youth, the love of thine espousal, when thou wentest after me in the wilderness, in a land that was not sown. Israel was holiness unto Yahuwah, and the first fruits of his increase.
Right there, that's Reshit, where it say the first fruits, Israel was a holiness unto Yahuwah, and the first fruits, that word being used right there in the Hebrew is Reshit, which is Bereshit, right? In the beginning. In the beginning, what? It's speaking about the first fruits. Then if we come down here and break down the pictograph, it talk about the Son coming to lead the house, and he going to be done by face destruction. By the Father's will, face destruction by the arms of man to be the mark, the sign of the signature, right? So Bereshit, right? So in the beginning was the first fruits. First word of Barashit is bar, sun, or grain, corn. And we know in the scriptures that Yahshua is the first fruit, right? So that's what I'm saying. He put it out there just lightweight in the beginning, but as you read the Bible, all the scriptures bring out the entirety of the story, right? So we just read where it say first fruits. Go ahead and finish verse 3.
All that devour him shall offend. Evil shall come upon them, said Yahweh.
Right. So we seeing that's the word for first fruits being used right there, which is reshit, right? Now we're gonna go to John chapter 1, and we're gonna read 1 through 5. Because now the Bible started getting written in Greek, right? But you can find it written in Hebrew as well, right? But in the King James, it was translated into the Greek from here on out, right? But in this, go ahead and read. We're going to read verses 1 through 5.
In the beginning was the Word.
In the beginning was the Word, right? So that word, instead of saying in the beginning in the Hebrew, we'll say Barashit, right? So in the beginning, or Barashit was what?
The Word.
Was Christ. Keep going.
And the Word was God. And the Word was with God. And the Word was God.
And he talking about even just in creation, but even in the Hebrew language, in the beginning, Barashit, the very first part of Barashit, which is bar, being the fruit, the son, he already being mentioned, even in the Hebrew. So it's multiple layers and levels of when you learning in this stuff. You know what I'm saying? So if you even in the Hebrew, you can't hide it. That's how great the Father is that even in his language, he gonna expose the truth. His son was here from the beginning, right? I keep reading.
And the Word was with God, and the Word was God. The same was in the beginning with God.
So in the beginning was the Word, which is Christ. He is the finest, the best, the first fruits, right? And he's Yah's first fruit was the Word, which was Hamashiach. Keep reading.
The same was in the beginning with God. All things were made by him, and without him was not anything made that was made. And him was life, and the life was the light of men.
Right.
And the light shineth in darkness, and the darkness comprehended it not.
Right. And it tell you in Genesis, you know, he what did he say? Separate the light from the darkness. Right. Now let's go to 1 John chapter 1, 1 through 2. First John chapter 1, and we're going to read verses 1 through 2. And when you get there, go ahead.
That which was from the beginning, which we have heard, which we have seen with our eyes, which we have looked upon, and our hands have handled, of the word of life. For the life was manifested, and we have seen it, and bear witness, and show it unto you, that eternal life, which was with the Father, and was manifested unto us.
And Kevin, so he's saying that he is the life, right? He is the life. So he being the fire as well, being used as a fire, bringing destruction. But what's the opposite of destruction or judgment? Life. And what else? So if you don't get, if it's not judgment, it's what? Start with an S. Salvation. Yeah.
Shua.
Thank you. That's what I was going to. Yeah. So everything is there, right? So in his name is salvation, right? His name means salvation. So he was written from the beginning. He the one who created everything. The story was already written out for him to be down at the hands of other means, to be the mark or the sign or the signature, right? Says he is the salvation, right? He's the one who brings the life. He basically created life through the Father's will, right? Let's go to 1 John 2. So in the beginning, by the sheet, it's already telling the story, right?
Yep.
1 John 2:24 through 25. 1 John 2:24 through 25. When you get there, go ahead.
Let that therefore abide in you, which ye have heard from the beginning.
Mm-hmm.
If that which ye have heard from the beginning shall remain in you,
Mm-hmm.
ye also shall continue in the Son and in the Father.
Keep going.
And this is the promise that he had promised us, even eternal life.
Right. And I'm just going here because even in the beginning, what we even see in the first word by the sheet is already telling you about the coming of the Son to come and die to be the sign for us, right? So even in the beginning, in this, because people be like, man, you're reaching, but it's all in here. And when you actually start studying Hebrew, it's just going to unfold so much, and it really help you to know if you're doctrinal, because you be like, okay, yeah, it's already talking about him coming here. Also, we're going to do the Father's name in 1 second because we almost done here. Let's go to 1 John 3 and 11. 1 John 3 and 11. 1 John 3 and 11. I ain't said right in a minute. I ain't heard no eh. 1 John 3, we're going to read verse 11. Go ahead.
For this is the message that you heard from the beginning, that we should love one another.
Right. So the whole message from the beginning was that, I said right? I did? Thank you. You was just asleep a while ago. You woke up for that. Let me jump on. Yeah, wasn't he? Yeah, he was just asleep, boy. He was, yeah. Yeah, so, wrong. I ain't say right. Yeah, so 1 John 3 and 11, for this is the message that you heard from the beginning, that we should love one another, right? Which was the whole point of Yahshua coming, right? The person from the beginning, he was the Word, and the Word was with God, the Word was God, and that Word was that we should love one another, right? So y'all basically had it planned from the beginning for Yahshua to come and perform the perfect act of love, right? Because he said that you should love each other. And it was already telling him that he was going to die telling us that he's going to die by the hands of men to come be the sign, the mark of the signature. So what greater love than to die for your brother? And that's what he came to do. And it's all written right here in by the sheet, right? So it takes sacrifice. We got just a couple more places. Let me see if I want to. We'll say this for another time. Because that race sheet, all this really just go down a rabbit hole. Because it talk about the thorns and everything in here.
His name.
Huh? Yeah, that's what I'm about to get to right now. So we can close it out. Now we're going to deal with the Father's name. And then we done. And ain't no going to no scriptures. We just going to do it in the Hebrew so I can show y'all. And we out of here. Yod, hey. Why, hey. So, let me see if I can put it up in the ancient Hebrew for y'all. So this is Yod, hey, Wah, hey, right? The YHWH, where people give Yahuwah, Yahweh, all of that from, right? So this is the same thing, but this is in the old drawing form that we used to write. So this would be the hand, right? This would be even as a sign of behold, meaning like behold, grasping on to. So you got, and this is to be a nail, right? A form of something to peg the tent down. So you got behold the hand, behold the nail. What would you take from that? Behold the hand, the cross. Behold the hand, behold the nail. Who had nails in their hand? So in the Father's name, Yahuwah is telling you, behold the hand that beholds the nail. Mm-hmm. So even through the Father name, it's speaking about the Son. Mm-hmm. So in Yahuwah's name is speaking about the Son. By the sheet is speaking about the Son. And remember we said earlier that the volume of the book is written to who? The Son, Hamashiach, Yahshua, right?
Come in my Father's name.
Come in his Father. Ooh, that's, yeah. I come in my Father's name, behold the hand, behold the nail. That's a good one, kinfolk. So Hebrew is actually fun. It really, when you play around with it, it really opened up a lot, and it just verified the scriptures. It show you just how he'll write just regular words, but it got so much meaning within it. So with that being said, just wanted to show y'all that the Son is written in the very first word of the Bible, which is better sheet. What do better sheet mean? How do you say Father in Hebrew? Ab. And how you say the Father's name? How you say the Father's name? We say it every Shabbat. Yah for short, and Yahuwah. Yeah. Yahuwah for the Hebrew. And what do it mean? Behold the hand, behold the nail. So it speaks about the Son, even within the Father's name. I hope somebody
I am my
gains.
Father one.
Yeah, I and our Father's one, another good one. Yes, I hope somebody gains something. It's short, but just want to throw a gem. So if somebody tell y'all Christ ain't real, you take about a sheet, you get your notes from this lesson, break it down in the pictorial, the ancient Hebrew, and you show them that the Son is real. He was written in the beginning. In the beginning was the Word. The Word was with God, and the Word was God. I hope somebody gains something from that. Shabbat shalom, family, and we love y'all.
Hallelujah.